So if you guys got a chance to listen to the podcast that we mentioned this week, if you haven't seen it yet, Thrifters Villa came out on Monday and we made a pretty big announcement.
Yeah, we revealed something about our thoughts and feelings related to where reselling is going and what that means for us and our business.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend checking that out because it's a much longer discussion than we are able to have here. But we wanted to tell all of you guys that I am no longer a full-time reseller. I will be going back to work and our business will continue, but I will no longer be a full-time reseller. So we wanted to give you guys some context to that. We wanted to tell you about our journey, how we arrived at this decision, and what this is going to mean for us overall.
Yes, so this has been a long decision in the making. So we've been talking about that change for weeks and if not months now. It's really been centered around the changes to the algorithm and the landscape of reselling for us personally, related to Poshmark.
Yeah. So I want to start with kind of telling you about our journey. If you have seen some of our older videos, please don't go back.
Our channel started 3 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it started 3 months ago. But if you saw our videos at the beginning, you will know that I started full-time reselling very quickly. I started right away going full-time. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about fashion. I just didn't know anything. Started a YouTube channel with basically the same thing where I knew a little bit.
That's not obvious at all from our older videos.
I knew a little bit, but I didn't know enough. And yeah, I just kind of stumbled my way through. And we were really lucky to be able to build that up to a full-time income for me. I was able to pay a good portion of the bills, all on my reselling income alone, and we were doing really well for a while there. And I'm so grateful to have been able to do that. I have wanted to do my own business for, I mean, at least as long as we've been married, but for much longer than that
it's
too.
It's been a long time coming that you wanted to run your own business.
Yeah, and it was something that I'm so grateful that I've been able to do, and it's definitely a dream that has not died. It's something that I definitely want to build back to. It's something that I absolutely want to do in the future. The same thing with YouTube. We have iterations. I wonder if we can show.
Oh, no, we're not showing that. That is locked in the vault. There are no other YouTube channels that we have ever tried other than the one we have now.
But there are. We have tried, we had a podcast for a while there, which we did movie reviews, and we did some YouTube videos related to that. We tried something, I won't say the name of it because I don't want you guys to find it, but there was another thing where we did some kind of couple type videos. So we've tried all of the things and we didn't have much success in it, but when the reselling community came around, we saw an opportunity to have a community that we've always wanted and to be able to share our lives with you guys and share what was happening, what was doing well for us, and I don't want that to go away. I 100% want you guys to see this. This is going to be a new journey that we're on, that we're going to take you guys all with us. We plan on still being here, but yeah, it was a long journey. But as he said, come algorithm time, things started shifting, and I think you guys probably experienced this too, right? So the first algorithm shift is when a lot of you guys found us, I think.
There's a dramatic line in the analytics that just goes straight up from that video.
Yeah.
Back about a year ago now.
Yeah, and it was a tough time for all of us, and we were so lucky to have been able to make it out of that still making a full-time income, as terrifying as it was. I had locked myself in a room for a few days trying to sort out what was going on, and that's what ended up leading to the video you guys all saw, but it was terrifying. I was having conversations with my close reselling friends saying, you know, sure, we were able to figure it out, but what does this mean if they're going to make these changes without even so much as, I don't know, checking with the reselling community or checking with their community as a whole, checking with their buyer base, not testing any of this stuff out, just kind of making these changes that really affect the livelihood of those who depend on this platform. Yeah. What's that going to mean as more and more things like this happen? We can't always figure it out, right? It's not always going to be something we can solve, and it was a terrifying moment, and it started to make me think, what am I going to do? What is this going to look like long term?
I think there was very much the slow realization that while you can still make it work and we are going to continue reselling, there's significantly more effort that goes into making it work. You have to be way more proactive. You have to be engaged and active, and you have to very much convert on every opportunity that you have to make those sales to continue on. And it's led to tighter margins. It's led to iterations of additional work and troubleshooting. It's become a significantly higher barrier than what it was previously.
Yeah. And on that as well, the sourcing has become more difficult, more challenging. So at the beginning of my reselling journey, I didn't know what I was doing, so I would come home with brands that maybe didn't sell for a high profit or maybe weren't even really great to pick up at all. As you said on the podcast, Free People to us was amazing. We were like, whoa, oh my goodness.
I still remember the first time we found a Free People item, and we're like, this will never happen again. It happens again. I promise you, it will happen again.
Yeah, so it was, but as we got better at it, we started having bigger and bigger hauls just from one thrift store. As we've told you guys before, Massachusetts, where we live, it's pretty spread out for thrift stores. We're lucky to be close to a few, but you really can't go to more than like 3 or 4 in a day unless you're really spending like AM to PM the whole night.
Yeah, open to close.
Yeah.
You have to be in the parking lot at the first opening door.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because of that, when it got more challenging, the prices went up, there was more competition. We started coming home with less and less items, which made it really hard to post more and more. And that pressure gets really overwhelming. It gets really hard to be able to be like, okay, I only found 5 items being out at the thrift for 4 hours and I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have enough to list today. It started to become challenging. And I'm sure you guys saw on our channel how my emotions kind of went up and down with it all. I was feeling really discouraged and I was starting to feel like I wasn't the successful reselling YouTuber that you guys all love to watch, and it made me feel uncertain about the content I was putting out. It made me feel uncertain about everything, and I felt like my business was coming to a standstill due to my emotions alone at times. I wasn't able to list, I wasn't able to get videos out to you guys, I wasn't able to source, because it was just so overwhelming. So for me personally, I started to think, what is best for my mental health? What is best for my business? What's the best way to move forward? And we could have made the decision to start sourcing more, right? We could have decided, you know what, we're just gonna go hard and source every day. We're gonna source online. We're gonna do liquidation. We're gonna do all of that. We could have made that choice. We could have made the decision to push harder on YouTube, maybe do collabs with bigger YouTubers to try and make some revenue on YouTube. But it became if that stuff doesn't work, will that make me less likely to be able to be successful? Or will I just keep pushing forward?
Well, it was very much the whole idea that if you slow down, you are going to just collapse on yourself. You have to keep pushing forward. You are being chased by a pack of wolves that is going to rip you apart if you don't keep ahead of it. You're trying to...
I was feeling really discouraged and I was starting to feel like I wasn't the successful reselling YouTuber that you guys all love to watch, and it made me feel uncertain about the content I was putting out. It made me feel uncertain about everything, and I felt like my business was coming to a standstill due to my emotions alone at times. I wasn't able to list, I wasn't able to get videos out to you guys, I wasn't able to source, because it was just so overwhelming. So for me personally, I started to think, what is best for my mental health? What is best for my business? What's the best way to move forward? And we could have made the decision to start sourcing more, right? We could have decided, you know what, we're just gonna go hard and source every day. We're gonna source online. We're gonna do liquidation. We're gonna do all of that. We could have made that choice. We could have made the decision to push harder on YouTube, maybe do collabs with bigger YouTubers to try and make some revenue on YouTube. But it became if that stuff doesn't work, will that make me less likely to be able to be successful? Or will I just keep pushing forward?
Well, it was very much the whole idea that if you slow down, you are going to just collapse on yourself. You have to keep pushing forward. You are being chased by a pack of wolves that is going to rip you apart if you don't keep ahead of it. You're trying to tread water as best you can and just be that one step ahead, and it can be exhausting. Yeah. I think that is the biggest change that I hope for you having to go back to an office, is that the pressure is completely removed. So you're not feeling guilty for taking a day off, just doing something for yourself, treating yourself to anything. You haven't bought yourself a thing for years now.
Since we've been married, we're basically. Yeah. I mean, not that dramatic, but pretty close. Won't change, give or take the lives. And I don't think the content's going to change too much. If anything, I think it's going to get better. We are now going to be able to breathe a little bit, make content that we're happy about, and not have to worry so much about the fact that we need to get a certain amount of views or whatever. Because if you didn't know, in order to make money on YouTube, you get about $10 for every 1,000 views. So we were very much trying to maximize that number because, of course, we all want to make income from what we're doing. And I won't have to worry that much about that anymore. Yeah. What I'll be able to do is make the videos that make me happy and that you guys seem to really like, and not have to worry so much about whether or not it's getting us thousands and thousands of views. And I'll also be able to do experiments in my business that will end up being super helpful for you guys without the worry of, will this like kill my business, right? There are experiments that I've wanted to do, but I'm like, ugh, but if I do that, will that take too much time away from me actually making money and hurt my business overall? But now I'll be able to do that for you guys and be able to tell you, hey, this experiment did not go well, and it won't hurt.
Do not do that one thing. It just is terrible.
Yeah.
I think very much it's going to lead us into being more open and willing to try new things, because there's no looming sense of dread. We want to bring back the joy of when we started reselling, the thrift and the adventure side of things, where we were just excited to be out finding new and interesting items and not have that rushing panic every time.
Yes. So I know a lot of you guys are probably watching this thinking, does this mean I shouldn't go full time? I've watched you guys for a while, and you were somebody that I looked up to for a reason to go full time, because we've had those comments and those messages. And I will say that it is a person by person basis. I am someone that struggles a lot with anxiety and depression, and I think that very much colored the decision that I made, because at the end of the day, I was looking for stability, and the way the platforms were going, I was not seeing the stability I once saw, and I needed to make an adjustment to get that stability for myself. I do think there is still room for success in the reselling community. You can look around and see there are people killing it out there. Ginger Marvin, she's got it going on. There's plenty of other people that are doing amazing. It just, for me and my mental health, I made a decision that was best for me, but I still think you can kill it. And honestly, I still think we're going to kill it. I still think we're going to do just as well as you guys have seen us doing. And I just think we'll be happier doing it. So I think that's everything I wanted to cover on this. I just want you guys to know where we're at. I believe in being authentically open, and I believe in having these tough conversations, because I don't think enough people are having the conversation of, the reselling community has changed. We all are adapting, and sometimes that adapting does mean shifting a little bit from reselling, not leaving it behind, but shifting. And that's perfectly okay. So I want to also open this up to dialogue to you guys. If you guys are shifting your business, even if it is away from reselling, even minorly, please leave that in the comments below. Let's open up a conversation. Let's talk about this, because it's something that we're not talking about enough. I think we need to. So please do that. Leave that in the comments below. I want you guys to check out the podcast, because we had a really, really good discussion about where reselling is going, how we're seeing it, all the new features, all of the new things that the apps are doing. So we have that linked in the description.
So I think a couple things that I want to say to wrap things up a little bit. The decision on whether or not to go full time is no one's decision but your own, and you have to be honest and upfront with yourself on whether or not that is something that you are willing to do. There is a lot of sacrifice with whichever you choose, either staying part-time or going full-time. It is going to change your life, and no one is going to know whether or not you are up to that challenge more than you. The other thing that I want to mention, I want to maybe do something a little bit stupid, is I want to have people from our community hold us accountable. I want you to be asking for the videos on time and just bugging us every single Sunday and Wednesday to say, hey, have you done it yet? Have you done it yet? That could go poorly, but I think we very much are going to need the additional motivation to ensure that we are blocking our time and scheduling things appropriately to stay on top of all of the craziness that is our life. Both of us working, reselling, and YouTube. There's a lot of balls in the air, and we're going to need help from
All of
you
you.
all to ensure that we are delivering on our promises.
Absolutely. But we don't want you guys to stop thinking of us as a reselling channel, and we have been improving our sales. That is not untrue just because we made the decision. I actually made the decision before we started improving our sales. But if you are still struggling with sales and you are still looking for tips, tricks, something to do to try and get those sales up, please click on the screen here because this is working right now.